YouTuber Jake Paul is now a pro boxer. Hello lovely YouTube family, welcome back to Celeb Max. Before we start, I would want you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. You likely know Jake Paul as a YouTube star, but in recent years, the social media personality, who was already not without his share of controversy, has raised some eyebrows when he stepped into the ring to try his hand at boxing. The move was not without success, however, as Paul has won all of his fights so far and has proven himself to be quite the pay-per-view draw. The question nonetheless remains, is Jake Paul actually a professional boxer? Here's what you need to know. YouTube sensation Jake Paul ventured into the sport of boxing in 2018 with his first fight being against fellow YouTuber Deji. Paul made his professional boxing debut in 2020 against another YouTuber named Anderson Gibb and secured victory in the very first round via TKO. Basketball player Nate Robinson was the next target for Jake Paul as a pro boxer. The two competitors fought it out on the undercard for Mike Tyson vs Roy Jones Jr., which was streamed live on Triller. With a second round TKO victory, the younger of the Paul brothers established himself as a real threat for his upcoming opponents. Guys, the world of professional boxing is comprised of many international organizations, both large and small. And unlike MMA, where one promotion stands tall above the rest and that be the UFC, there's no boxing league that dominates all others when it comes to hosting fights. There's no one boxing league that dominates all others when it comes to hosting fights and selling tickets. A fight is simply considered professional if it's regulated and sanctioned by one of the recognized bodies that exist for this purpose. These sanctioning bodies set rules, help negotiate the contracts, assign judges and referees for the fights, and award their own championship belts. There are dozens of international boxing organizations, but the four main sanctioning bodies are the World Boxing Association, World Boxing Council, International Boxing Federation, and World Boxing Organization. These issue the most sought-after titles. Any boxer who is referred to as the undisputed champion holds all four titles in his weight class from these bodies. In January 2021, Jake Paul announced his next pro boxing match. The YouTuber will trade blows with Ben Askren, a former Bellator MMA and one welterweight champion. The journey from fighting amateurs to competing against professional athletes can be accredited to Jake's critics, who believe the YouTuber has not faced real competition as a pro boxer. Ben Askren held a record of 19-2 prior to announcing his retirement in 2019, and seems to be Jake Paul's answer to his critics. With a fragile 2-0 record as a professional boxer, Jake Paul has become one of the most talked about combat sports athletes worldwide. If he emerges victorious on April 17th against Askren, his stock will propel even further as Funky is a former Olympic wrestler. Many MMA and boxing pundits are considering Paul to be the A-side in this matchup. Ben Askren's striking is not considered to be his best weapon. Instead, Funky is known to have a relentless wrestling approach in most of his fights. He defeated the likes of Douglas Lima with the same approach. Any boxing match that is sanctioned and regulated by at least one of these agencies is a professional match, and any fighters that participate are professional boxers. Fights that aren't officially sanctioned are considered amateur bouts, although these may also be advertised as white-collar or exhibition matches. Non-professional bouts typically have fewer rounds than professional matches. In professional boxing, fighters are also allowed to dish out and make more physical punishment before the referee will halt the fight. Guys, as we told you earlier that Jake Paul's two fights in 2020 were indeed professional fights, and that makes Jake Paul a professional boxer. The first in January was against fellow YouTuber Ali Louis Al Fakri, followed by a match against former NBA player Nate Robinson in November. Paul won both via knockout. That gives him an official professional record of 2-0, although he previously fought KSI's younger brother Deji in an amateur contest in 2018. Jake won that fight via knockout too. His third professional fight might not prove to be so easy. So far, none of Jake Paul's opponents have been professional fighters themselves. And now on August 28, Jake Paul will be fighting Tyro Woodley. And I think that match will be super interesting to watch. Will you see the match? Do tell us in the comment section below. So that's all for today. I hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so that you never miss any amazing video from us.